Hello everybody, January 12th, 2014. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna get this video going with the supply and demand. I worked on this until 4 in the morning on Friday night. Put a lot of good info together. So what I wanted to do was, I have a link down below that you can click on and take you to Moneybags World. I was thinking if you're on your computer, then we could go ahead and go through this together. I don't really have it put together the way that I should, but I want to hurry up and do this video because tomorrow the week starts and I'm not going to have time. So I wanted to get this out there. There's a lot of good information, so let's see if we can go through this. Hopefully some of you by now have gotten over to Moneybags World. I'll give you a few more seconds. And then these aren't in order, but if you were able to see what I saw, you would just be blown back in your chair and wondering what the heck is going on here. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to have the price of an ounce of gold to drop 29% in 2013 when the demand is just off the charts. It totally is. It's just, the demand is incredible. And the imports are unexplainable. It just doesn't make any sense until you look at Switzerland, and then it starts to come together. So everyone keeps asking me all year long, well, where's the gold coming from? When I used to talk about the central banks buying gold. Well, where'd they get that from? Where China imports 100 tons through Hong Kong almost every month for like 5 months in a row. Well, where'd they get the 100 tons from? You're going to see here, it's all going through Switzerland. And maybe some of you saw the video where the guy said that all the bars are going into Switzerland. They're being melted down into the kilo bars from the 400 ounce bars. And he says that the London vaults are empty. So it's a shift from west to east. All the gold is being shifted over, and it's really just an incredible thing that's going on. And they're going to be sitting on all the gold. And maybe at some point have a gold-backed yuan. I don't know. That's a possibility. But everything we're going to look at today is going to make the average person want to have some real money for themselves, I would imagine. I mean, I don't know, but a lot of you know this stuff already. But unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get a lot of average people looking at this type of information because they're too busy watching the football playoffs and stuff, which is more important, watching the grown men run around and throw the ball. Sorry, I can't help it. Just keep poking at that because I don't know if some of you guys know, my dad works for the Oakland Raiders, and I don't know if I've ever mentioned that. Maybe. I worked for the Oakland A's for 5 years, professional baseball team, and he's worked for the Raiders most of my life, and now he's in a capacity where he lives close to Oakland, so he just goes down, checks some permit passes for the press coming in and stuff like that. I mean, he doesn't do what he used to do. He used to be in charge of the headphone sets all the coaches wore, and that wasn't his full-time job. That was just something he always did on the side. But sports was a big part of my life growing up, everyone, and I just have no time. I'm not against my kid if he wanted to play sports. I think the teamwork, learning do the teamwork and stuff and all that, there's good things that come out of playing sports, don't get me wrong. I just don't have any time to watch any professional sports and the stars running around and throw the ball and tackle each other and hit the ball and stuff on television. So much going on that's just not possible for me to spend my time doing that. So, but a lot of people think that that's really important, and I feel kind of strange sometimes because I can't talk about it anymore. I used to pay attention to it, but I can't talk about it anymore because I don't know anything about it. I don't watch it. I just kind of shun it when people are, hey, how about those Niners and this and that. What? I can't even, maybe I could name one player or something. I don't care. But I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. Let's get back to this here. So, The first tile I got, give me the gold. Why Middle East demand for the precious metal and jewelry business is growing 25% every year in the Middle East. There was a number here I couldn't figure out. It was consumer demand for gold jewelry worldwide grew by 20% for the year ending September 2013, reaching 3,757 tons. Remember, there's only about 27 or 2,800 tons being mined every year. Okay, so we're talking about 2,700 to 2,800 tons of new gold coming out of the ground. You got to remember, 400 plus tons of that stays in China by law. It goes to the PBOC, the People's Bank of China. So, number 4 producer is Russia. And you're going to see how most of that stays in Russia. So, it's less than like 2,000 available new gold. And it just doesn't make sense when you look at all of this information. The demand is like 5,000 tons demand or more. So you got a lot of old jewelry and all that being melted down, you know. But it's just, even if you could account for it all, it doesn't make any sense. You're going to have a 30% drop in the price because the demand is just incredible. But anyway, let's just keep going with this here. So, moving along, you got, what is this? You got 73 tons demand in the United Arab Emirates and 71 tons of demand for jewelry in Saudi Arabia. We move on. UK gold exports surged tenfold in the first half of 2013. Now that's those bars that I was talking about that are being melted down and then converted to the kilo bars, going over to the east to go into the new, they got a new 2,000 ton vault there in China in the free trade zone. A lot of it's going to end up there. So for UK, let's see, Switzerland, what are the import-export numbers? Okay, first 9 months of 2013, you had 2,420 tons of gold going into Switzerland, and then 2,184 heading back out. So, you know, there's 240, not accounting, that stayed in Switzerland, apparently. Okay, so that's where most of the gold's coming from. That all this stuff going into Hong Kong, not all of it, but most of it going into Hong Kong is coming through Switzerland. Perth Mint sales surged 41% in 2013 on worst rut since 1981. So the Perth Mint, we're talking 23 tons of gold here versus 16 tons in 2012. So, you know, another 7 tons being sold more than 2012, and while the price goes down. And as you scroll down, gold goes from west to east through Switzerland. That's what I've been talking about. You see the graph here, 780 tons. It's showing that's gone to Hong Kong. It's probably just partial year. And you can look at the other graph, gold import export, which is what I was talking about also, through Switzerland. And so that's where most of the gold's coming from. Pakistan gold imports up 87% in July. That's what happens when, you know, there's low demand, according to some of these guys out there. Low demand will cause this, you know. Just kidding. This 3.77 tons is not really a lot. I found that, I wanted to point that out. You know, almost 100% rise in Pakistan demand. The demand is just incredible around the world. List of countries, I thought I'd put this in here, the production: China, Australia, USA, Russia, and South Africa. So China is the #1 producer, the red line, if you happen to be looking at this. But all that stays in China. And then the orange line, which has been decreasing the last 14 years, Australia's gold production. #2, and just below that is the United States. Oh, wait till we look at the United States numbers. That's something else really interesting, which has been dropping. United States, Australia, both been dropping their production. Oh, and South Africa, in a huge way, has dropped it's cut in half in the last 13 years. They used to be pulling out 1,000 tons out of the ground in 1970. And now they're the 5th largest producer. So that's going down. And then Russia has been increasing their output, but most of that stays in Russia. So the past 4 years, this is a really great chart right here. The past 4 years, gold imports into China versus gold price. So you see the price here during 2012 and 2013 falling as the imports just surge on up in an incredible way, over 1,100 tons in through Hong Kong going into China. And you look back at 2009 and 2010, we're talking, you know, they were bringing in maybe 5, 10 tons. That's 100 a month now, just ramming it as the gold price is falling. Record U.S. gold bullion exports head to Hong Kong and Switzerland. That's where it's all going. And once it gets to Switzerland, it's turning around on another ship record U.S. gold bullion exports head to Hong Kong and Switzerland. So this is what's really going on. This is a big story here through the United States. This is what's happening. It's making its way through Switzerland and then over to Hong Kong. That's just where all the physical gold is going. And when this whole paper mess collapses that we're dealing with, China is going to be over here going, look who's got the gold, everybody. So you can see on the chart in the United States, I'll look at my notes here. Took some better notes. Okay, so if you're on this one here, record U.S. gold bullion exports head to Hong Kong and Switzerland. The first graph is showing the gold bullion exports. It's where it's mainly going, Hong Kong, Switzerland, like I've been saying, and then some into the UK. And the next graph, go all the way down to the last one, actually. The one that says United States net gold supply. Okay, so here the United States, the first 9 months we're talking of 2013, pulled 170 tons out of the ground. They imported 232 tons. Not sure where that's coming from. Maybe Switzerland, probably also. But they're sending, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. They're sending gold over to Switzerland and they're bringing it back over here. They're probably importing that maybe through Mexico or Peru. I don't know. And then 573 tons being exported out of the United States. So they're exporting more than they're even bringing in, and that doesn't make any sense. Negative 171. Let's see, we took 170 out of the ground, 232 we brought in. That's 402 tons. But yet we send 573 out of the country. That's interesting. And Germany wants 700 tons. I believe 300 from the New York Fed, 300 from France, and maybe 100 from the UK. I don't remember the exact numbers. And they got 37 tons the first year. It's going to take 7 years for Germany to get their gold. That right there is admission. That's what I want to call it. Admission. They're admitting that we don't have your gold, Germany. We're going to have to try and get it. That's why we need to have 600-700 tons come out of the ETFs, scare everybody, say, oh, look, the demand is really low for this stuff, and gold's going back to below 1,000, and you better get out of your ETF holdings so we can bring that gold in and remelt it into some nice bars and get it over to Germany. Because they're not getting the bars that they handed over, that's for sure. I saw something where it said that Germany was getting these brand new 2013 bars. Great. Where's our bars from long ago? Those bars are gone. We had to, remelt those down because the mice got to them. I mean, come on. Where are our old bars? I don't know. Who knows where those old bars are? They're gone. They're probably being worn around the neck of these Indian women. You see the pictures. That's where your bars are at, Germany. I mean, it's just incredible what's going on. So anyhow, here's the next article going down. Gold vaults open in China. 2,000-ton vault. This is a cool little video here if you want to check that out. Russian banks buy 181.4 tons of gold in 2013. Where'd that come from? Well, 90% of that came from their own production. They're just keeping what comes out of the ground. The central bank there, stockpiling gold, barbaric relic, you know, right? Unprecedented Chinese gold demand topped 2,500 tons in 2013. This was pretty incredible. Now this is the demand that's coming out of the 400 plus tons coming out of the ground, and then 2,000 tons being taken out of the Shanghai vaults. So this is you're going to have 1,100 tons going in through Hong Kong being imported. There's other ports that bring it in. But that's the demand. So huge demand. And then remember the 3,700 demand in the Middle East? Add that to this 2,500 demand. Yeah, okay, World Gold Council. 2,500 plus 3,700. Let's see, 6,200 tons. Oh, and then we have India. Even though the government's trying to curb the gold imports, India's still bringing in 800, 900 tons. So, okay, so let's add that to our 6,200. What do we have? Yeah, 6,200 plus, that puts us over 7,000. And you know, we could probably work our way up to 10,000 ton demand. Where's all that gold coming from? Come on. This is just incredible when you look at this information. It's just ridiculous and incredible. Gold is no longer a safe investment. All right, I guess when there, I've come, hold on. No, I guess we're not done yet. This is a comical piece I put up here. I don't remember if I did this on a video or not. You can check that out. That's some guy trying to explain. Turkey's gold imports hit record for 2013, up 150% from 2012. Oh, that's interesting. Turkey imported 300 tons. Where'd that come from? Okay. I guess I'm done. I hope that helped some people. Sorry I didn't put that together better. It's just the demand is incredible for physical gold, and it's common sense to be your own central bank and have some real money. That's pretty much all I'm going to say on that for now. There is one last thing I wanted to mention. When you think about all this, you have to think about the situation we were in, say, 6-7 years ago. If we go back 14 years, there were no ETFs prior to that. So that you have that new demand for the gold, probably 300 tons a year going into the ETFs, which this last year it all came out because Germany wants their gold. China's got 1,000 tons going in there. So, they're meeting it that way. But there's this new demand over the last 10 years through the ETFs. Central banks used to be net sellers of gold to supply into the markets. They became net buyers. 500 tons of gold bought by central banks in 2012, I think it was, and then maybe 300 tons last year. That's 800 ton flop right there that wasn't normally there before. All this mint data, which isn't real big, but it's still increasing the amount of gold being sold. I don't remember if I mentioned the US up 22%. They sold 33 tons versus 27 in 2012. They sold 33.7 tons in 2013 of gold. That's Buffalo and American Eagles. So I think all the mints sold more gold in 2013, all the major mints. And the first half of 2012, Switzerland imported 83 tons of gold from the UK. The first 6 months of 2013, they imported 800 tons. So it's all coming out of the UK vaults. That's most of where a lot of this supply is coming from. All this additional supply, it's coming out of the UK vaults. And one analyst I heard say that they were almost empty. So anyway, you got the Chinese data, India data, and all this data, all this new demand that wasn't even there before. It's just an incredible picture when you try and look at it all. So I guess that's it. I hope this helped people. I should have put it together better. I apologize. I tried to bring you the information the best way that I could. So take care, everyone. I'll be talking to you all soon.